I have some news to share with you today regarding the West Virginia football program, their past, their present, and potentially their future. So pull up a chair, sit back, relax, and let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and welcome into another edition of Coos' Corner. Pull that chair up and let me serve you up this shot of top-shelf college football content. On tap, in this episode, I'm going to share the latest news that is out today regarding Shane Lyons, his separation from West Virginia, what West Virginia is having to pay him for that separation, which just came out today via earsports.com. I'm also going to share with you some updates on a couple 2023 class commits for the West Virginia program, or what those commits have tweeted on their Twitter accounts earlier today. First, let's start with the Shane Lyons news. According to earsports.com, Shane Lyons and West Virginia have agreed on a severance agreement, which is basically similar to a buyout. But West Virginia has agreed to pay Shane Lyons about $2.6 million. He's being paid for continued employment through January the 4th, contract incentives, and that's January 4th, 2023, by the way. And I'll touch on why that is in a minute. But also, he's being paid on contract incentives that he earned, his 2023 and 2024 salaries, and an additional payment that is not included in his initial contract and subsequent amendments. And details around that are attached in the article. You can read up on it if you want. But all of this honors the agreement that was made with Lyons upon his hiring back in 2015, and also the extension he signed with West Virginia back in January of this year. Now, that leads me to think, why in the world did they extend him if there were a lot of questions and some fundraising issues within the athletic department? So this tells me the fact that they extended him in January makes me think that that this removal or his firing is based solely on the performance of the football program and his extension to Neil Brown a couple of years ago. So let's move on. Lyons was asked and agreed to step down on November the 14th and agreed to stay on for a limited term as a special assistant to the president to handle special projects as requested. And he can do this remotely, so he's probably working from home to do this. And he will, as of January the 5th, 2023, Lyons will no longer be an employee of West Virginia University. The article also says that Lyons is able to resign from this special assistant role at any time. So if he decides he don't want to perform this role, he can step down. Lyons has already accepted a role. He's already accepted a job. He's already accepted a role at the place he was before he came to West Virginia. He's accepted a role as the COO and Executive Deputy of Athletics at the University of Alabama. And most of us already know he had a similar role, if not the same role, at Alabama before he came to West Virginia back in 2015. Now, that's the latest on Shane Lyons. Now, let's talk about an update on some recruits in the 2023 class and some information they've shared with us on their Twitter accounts. First, let's start with Jordan Louis. We know running back commit Jordan Louis decommitted from West Virginia a couple of weeks ago and opened up his recruitment. Now, he did say in an interview with some media members that West Virginia was still not out of the equation. He was just wanting to visit more schools and leave his options open. But we all know when a player decommits, that probably means that school will not see that player in uniform. Now, another commit, and in my opinion, one of the best commits of this class, defensive lineman Justin Benton, put something interesting on his Twitter account. Now, Justin Benton still has mentions of West Virginia on Twitter, and he has not decommitted from the program. So I'm not trying to start any rumors that Justin Benton is decommitting, okay? Because he's not done that officially. But what he did put up on Twitter is intriguing, and I'm going to share that with you right now. But as you see here, about 4 hours before I started filming, he put up the hook'em sign on his Twitter account. What does that mean? I have no idea. Does it mean he's committing to Texas? Not necessarily. It could just mean that he's visiting Texas. Texas did make an offer to Justin Benton on October the 30th. That's on a previous tweet he put out. And we all know Justin Benton has already visited Arkansas. He visited Arkansas on November the 9th. That is a tweet he's already put out. So we know that Justin Benton has been looking around. But like I said, he has not removed West Virginia from his account yet. If you scroll up here, you'll see he still has the announcement where he committed, and he still has at WVU football as part of his profile. So I'm not going to go out and start a rumor here say that Justin Benton has decommitted, because so far he has not. The next player I want to talk about is another big recruit, and arguably the best recruit in the 2023 class, according to us fans anyway, and according to a star rating, and that's none other than Rodney Gallagher. Now, Rodney Gallagher put this tweet up on his Twitter account earlier today. About an hour before I started filming, says, I will be visiting Penn State this weekend at Coach Terry PSU. So, yes, Rodney Gallagher, the 4-star recruit that we're all excited about in the 2023 class, is taking a visit to Penn State. But that does not mean West Virginia's out of the picture, folks. So let's not make assumptions. Let's not jump to conclusions and say, oh, Rodney Gallagher's decommitted, because he hasn't. He has not decommitted. Once again, just like Benton, he still has mentions of West Virginia on his social media accounts. But let's step back and be honest here. We cannot blame these young men for taking a second look and having second thoughts about potentially coming to West Virginia with all the uncertainty surrounding our program. Our athletic director was just fired. Our head coach is being rumored to be on the hot seat. These young men are not stupid, and their parents are definitely not stupid. And they're going to help them make the right decision here. And we all know these young men commit to play. In a lot of cases, they commit to play for specific coaches. And if those coaches end up not being there, things can change. If these young men do decommit, I'm not saying that should alter the decision of the administration at West Virginia. It shouldn't. You can't base your decision on the chance you might lose if you recruit. You can't do that. Not that the recruits aren't important, but you can't base the future of an entire program on one recruiting class and specifically a handful of specific recruits. The program is bigger than that. You have to make these are long-term decisions, so you can't be short-sighted and make them based on short-term decisions by these recruits. Big picture here. We're taking the 3,000-foot view, doing what's best for the program as a whole. And my hope is that these young men visit these schools. They don't decommit yet. West Virginia goes out and makes an AD hire very soon. They make a decision on their head coach very soon, and then these young men decide, hey, I want to stay with my commitment to West Virginia, and that we see them at the start of the 2023 football season. That's my hope. But if that doesn't happen, I will not fault these young men whatsoever, because this is a very important decision for these young men, and they have to do what's best for them and their future. This is probably the most important decision they've ever made in their life, and they need to make the right one. If they think the chaos, the turmoil, the uncertainty, whatever you want to call it, that's going on right now at West Virginia, if they think that's going to impact their future in a negative way, then maybe coming to West Virginia is not what's best for them, okay? And it's not for us as fans to say what's best for them. We shouldn't throw shade at them on social media or say any derogatory comments toward them or insult them in any way if they end up decommitting from West Virginia. And I'm asking Mountaineer fans, let's not do that, because when these young men committed to West Virginia, they committed to this staff that's here today, not the one that may be coming, okay? Now, I hope they don't make any rash decisions. I hope they wait it out, let it play out to see what West Virginia does before they make a decision. But let's not be surprised if some of these young men decommit. And once again, I plead to you, please do not say anything mean or derogatory towards these young men. They're high school students, for crying out loud. These are big decisions they're making. Let them make the best decisions for them and their future. And if they make the wrong one, then they make the wrong one. They can learn from it. And there is a transfer portal, folks. There is a transfer portal. They could always end up back at West Virginia in the future anyway, even if they do decommit. So the sky's not falling if that happens, okay? Let me know, Mountaineer Nation, what do you think in the comment section? I want to hear your thoughts on Shane Lyons and his severance agreement with WVU. Let me know your thoughts on these potential decommits or these commits that are visiting other schools. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Please support my channel financially if you have the capability to. You can check out my merch store. I'll leave a link at the top of my description box. Get you a warm hoodie or a warm beanie to cover up your body and your head during these cold winter days. You can get you a T-shirt, a tank top. If you live somewhere where it's hot, get you a tank top. You can get something with my channel logo on it. You can get the JD design. You can get all sorts of other designs. They're all there in my description box. You should be able to see a picture of them below as well, below this video. You can join Cougars Corner and take advantage of the perks that comes with that by hitting the join button right below. Access to early videos, special shout-outs. Matter of fact, right now I want to give a shout-out to David Cummings, who is a Mountaineer Maniac member, and also Chris D., another Mountaineer Maniac member. That's the second level, the highest level at the moment that you can join of Cougars Corner. I appreciate both of those guys and their support. Last but not least, if you can support this channel, but you can't do it financially, but you want to do it free and easy, there's 4 ways. You can like the video, share the video with your friends, drop that comment below, and last but not least, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Help me get to that 5,000 subscriber mark. That's my goal for this year. I'd love to hit it by the end of the year if possible, but I need your help to do that. I know it's a stretch goal and a very, very unlikely goal, but hey, let's give it a shot. I think we can do it. With that being said, I really appreciate you tuning in to this episode. And until the next one, Q Country Roads.